Hey everybody, Drew here. Super honored to bring you guys this absolutely gorgeous 1997 Toyota Crown Royal Saloon G. G means fully loaded. It's got power reclining rear seats with control of the power passenger seat from the back, dedicated controls for the audio system and the climate control system with a rear air conditioner all right there in the back. You know, it's a chauffeured car, or it can be. Cruise control just fully loaded to the gills. It's only got 24,552 miles on it, and it is fresh from Fukuoka, Japan, which is like northwest out of Tokyo, around Mount Fuji, and up on kind of the north coast or the northwest coast of the archipelago, if you will. It's a very mild climate there, and you can tell, I'm going to show you guys underneath this car, that it has not been exposed to like winters or anything like you would get in Rochester, New York here, or Sapporo, Japan, where cars are unfortunately exposed to great amounts of snow. This one was not. The purpose of this video is to walk you around, show you all the features, show you all the flaws, take you for a test drive in case you're far away and you want to buy it online. I absolutely can ship it to anywhere in the world, really, but to keep it simple, we'll say the 48 states. But, you know, we could ship this to Europe, the Middle East. I don't see why we would ship it back to Japan, but we could. So if you're watching this and you want to buy the car, definitely reach out. So we'll start with the flaws here. Also going to give you kind of an opinion on it, kind of like a retro review. There's some very tiny little scuffs. I'm not sure if you could even see these. That one's a little bit more prominent in the front bumper. There's a decent little scuff right here that most of that might buff out. Obviously not where the paint's gone, but by the way, this is, if you're considering this vehicle for a daily driver, do know that this is just simply, you know, 1990s Lexus. It's 057, I believe, is the paint code, with the 051 pearl white on the top and the, I forget the paint code for the bottom. It's called Oyster Pearl. This is the same paint as a Lexus, so no big deal keeping it on the road. There are parts for this car that you're not going to easily find in the United States, but for me, that's part of the fun of owning one. So moving over here, no stone chips or drama or anything on the hood to speak of. That's a good indication this car didn't leave Fukuoka very often for like highway trips. This was probably somebody's status symbol, which is common in Japan, especially in the 90s. They didn't need a car, but they own one, and it probably, there was probably a few years, if I had to guess, it was only taken out to have its maintenance done. Not the case here in the United States as a norm at all, but pretty common in Japan. The tires on it are fantastic, but they are old. So it looks here like they were made the 38th week of 2013. That by no means fails inspection. It's just a little bit of a red flag to me, but I'm not going to put new tires on this car. The little bit I'm going to drive it, I'm fine with it. And sadly, I personally like these wheels. I think they fit the car perfectly when you look at, you know, the shape of all their angles and how it matches the angles on the body of the car. In fact, my wife Jade's Crown Majesta, which there's tons of on this channel, her car looks like this, but it's more rounded, and it has the same wheels, but the spokes are more rounded to match the car. Just a lot of thought went into these, and I like them. If you're going to keep them, we could talk about different tires. I could definitely assist in that. But most people get these cars and, you know, put coilovers on them and rims and all that jazz. So nothing's going to be done there. The brakes are fantastic. They're a little low on the pads. We're working on that. Hopefully going to get some pads and put it on. But the rotors are perfect. Moving along the side of the car here, just a little scuff right there. There's a tiny bit of pitting on the chrome. Well, maybe it's not a tiny bit. It actually shows up on my screen here more than it does in person. But yeah, so note that. This should be easy to find on Yahoo Auctions if it bothers you, but you know, this car, it'll look this good in another 27 years if you garage it and you can daily drive it, whatever you want to do with it, it'll be your car, right? A little bit of scuffing down here. Again, this is just Oyster Pearl, it's called, and it's readily available in the United States if you want to get a touch-up pen or have that painted, or just, you know, take it for a little bit of patina for a 27-year-old car. Nothing to speak of here except this little chip. I actually might, no promises, but I might track down a touch-up pen and take care of some of this before you come and test drive it. On the back of the car here, by the way, it's important to note, if you're another Rochesterian like me, or if you're in New York State, you're going to fail New York State inspection with this tint. I could take it off. The back window's fine, but the side, unless you know somebody, or, you know, hopefully people are cool because it's a classic car, right? It's technically like a Japanese limo. But that will fail New York State inspection. So, you know, we can work through, you know, the teething like that, if you will. if you want to buy it. And by the way, I can assist, you know, with registration and all that jazz. Actually, I could completely take care of it, which is another thing we could discuss if you're in New York State. So Fukuoka Toyota, little couple scratches on the bumper. I wouldn't touch this bumper. I would just live with it because the sticker's awesome. My wife Jade's, her Crown Majesta has, hers is in Japanese and it says Toyota, or Toyo Pet, I think. They divided their Toyota stores into 3 different, the Corolla store, Toyota store, and Toyo Pet store back then, and I think hers was Toyo Pet. Just absolutely perfect. I mean, you could do a little paint correction to this, I guess, but I mean, this is like a show winning. This car will definitely do best in show if there's enough people there aware of them to notice it and vote. I mean, I wouldn't paint correct it if I was going to keep it. I mean, it is just about perfect. You could tell it was parked inside. None of the logos are faded or anything like that. Maybe this one is a little bit, but you could definitely tell this was a car that was parked inside. While we're back here, it's a good time to show you underneath. As you see, nothing but a little bit of surface rust. I'll get right up on it. You know, you can tell nothing's pitted, nothing's flaking. Just absolutely incredible. You can also tell that they kept up on the exhaust, painting it with high temperature paint. Just wonderful how the Japanese take care of their stuff. I wish some of that came to the United States. It's a shame. Maybe it's because in Japan they work so hard. I don't know, but they take really good care of their stuff, and that's obvious. So there's a little scuff here. It looks almost to be. Now that's just a scuff, I believe. I'm gonna try to move my camera up and down to see if that's imprinted into the metal at all. If anything, maybe a little scuff, stand back. It's not as noticeable, kind of just jumped out at me while I was down there, but not too noticeable otherwise. There was a door ding. Oh, and by the way, I think I left it out. The wheels, I talked about how much I love them, right? These are unusual. Usually these are painted. This is a chrome clad, I believe. I'm gonna go to the one that has the drama. I think it's this one here. Yeah, so this one, it's kind of peeling. I don't know if this is machined, if the surface of it's peeling on one of them. Forget which one. I don't know if that's machined and clear coated or if it's like a chrome plate here. So you see how that, yeah, that's not like, that's like metallic, almost like Honda door handles, how they used to peel. So these are some kind of chrome. If you want to keep these wheels, the way to make them look beautiful would be bring them down to bare aluminum, machine the face, bring them down to bare aluminum, paint the whole thing silver, then machine the paint off the face and clear coat it. Or that you could just have them powder coated, like a high gloss silver. They work, they usually come painted silver. Machined, they would look absolutely gorgeous again, but it's your car, so you do with it what you want. It's got its Shockin' stickers. These are part of Japanese inspection. That's the like registration or whatever. Those are on there. You want to keep that stuff. This car didn't come with a tolling system, which is another indication. It kind of supports my theory that it never, went on the highway. I mean, there's no stone chips, so that's a really good indication it didn't. Because stones don't fly at you when you're in a city. Again, wheels a little bit worn, tires more than good enough, but I would recommend replacing if you're going to drive it on these rims. Little chip right there. There is a door ding somewhere on this side of the car. Where is it? It's minor, but it's there. Oh, right here. So I'm not sure. Yeah, there you go. See those trees? They're across the street from where we're filming here. That door ding is, the size of a pinky nail. And there's a little chip right here. Other than that, the car is perfect. I shot photos of the brake lines, stuff like that. Stuff that would normally rust if the car was exposed to, that kind of environment. Nothing. No drama. Black, mostly black frame pieces still. Little bit, like I showed you on that rear subframe, a little bit of surface rust, which surface rust is more or less defined as it'll come off with a Brillo pad, whereas flaking rust or heavy rust, flaking rust starts to change the texture of the metal. None of that going on here. So under the hood and in the trunk, we'll start with the trunk. Nothing fancy at all. To show you it does have a rear air conditioner, which is behind this. There should be dedicated vents Yes, so those vents up there, those are for the rear air conditioner, which is behind that. 99% certain on that. Every other Royal Saloon G we've had has had that. Everything's in great shape. The tools, the jack are there. There is a CD changer. By the way, the audio system on this car does have a problem. Most people change it, so it's going down the road that way. I'm going to mess with it a little bit, but it likely needs to have new capacitors installed, which is not that big of a deal. You know, if you want it to function original, but my wife's car is the same way, and what we are going to be doing to it eventually is putting in a hidden sound system, so it'll have a Bluetooth receiver that is completely out of sight and plays through the original speaker locations without getting rid of her beautiful original dash, because that's early 90s and it has like tons of buttons and it's got a cool vibe to it. So there is the legendary 2J. It's a VVTi model. Obviously, this isn't the one you want to build to 2,000 horsepower. You know, I mean, I would personally just leave this alone. It's got more than enough power for a special occasions car or a daily driver. You know, you could put a little power to it if you want to. Obviously, people prefer the ones without the VVTi, or so I think. I don't hot rod these cars. Just one of the best engines ever made. Bulletproof, reliable, silky smooth. The only thing is just not stellar on gas. It's got all the proper fluids in it. It did recently have an oil change. By the time you watch this, it probably had another one. Try to take really good care of stuff when we are a steward of it. So I did not detail the engine bay, and I'm probably not going to. I suppose I could. Just get a little bit nervous about taking a hose to, you know, a 27-year-old engine bay. Glass headlights are in perfect shape. Grill's in perfect shape. It might come with LED headlights because a company sent us a set of them that they want us to review for them, and they happen to be this size, so they might come with it. So inside the car, the appropriate place to start would be the back. This seat over here, this is the money seat. So somebody who owned this car would likely sit in this spot, move the seat out of the way, and then they can flip down the armrest, and they could recline their seat. Pardon that little stain there, that'll come out. By the way, as far as interior drama, there is that stain next to my thumb. It's that big. That did not come out. There's a couple other spots of discoloration in here that I may have missed, but for the most part, that's the only spot. A little bit of fuzz on the headliner there, but you know, the headliner is perfect. Seats are perfect. It's very important to mention, before I forget, that this car, it does have a faint cigarette smell. I did not find any evidence at all that cigarettes were smoked in it. There's no burns, nothing like that, but it does have a faint cigarette smell. I hope that that wasn't somebody working at the port in Japan or the port in America. That would be really disappointing. But again, being a chauffeured car, there's a good chance that, you know, maybe this was like some executive and they, you know, they're whatever, who knows, but it does have a faint cigarette smell. There's a very good chance by the time you come to see it in person, that smell will be gone. I have the tools to do it, and it's driving me crazy, so I plan to. But anyways, so this is, you know, the power reclining rear seats here, which are fantastic. Cup holders and cell phone charger, even though it was only 1997. So before we go through all those features anymore, might as well start the car up. Going to put in a new key fob battery because as you look here, pardon my camera skills, very sorry. As you look here, it's got the, you know, we got this on like the 1990, I know my 1995 Lexus ES had it back in the day, the same key but with a Lexus emblem. That's lock and unlock, and I'm sure it works, just needs a battery. As you see, it's got the power tilt and telescope wheel. Once the airbag light clears, as you see, no warning lights. It's just saying to put on your seatbelt and shut the door. Again, it's got 39,512 kilometers, is 24,522 miles, as I calculated it before I started the video. Like this spot here should come off, and there's another one, and this mat's gonna get extracted as well. There's no stains on it, but you can tell there's dirt in it, and the extractor is winterized, so that should be done hopefully by the time you see the car, with some nice weather coming here. But yeah, a little bit of discoloration there and a spot that was missed there, and just a quick cleaning. That should all come out. But again, please note that that stain on that back thing doesn't. So now that it's running, I just didn't want to drain down the battery. So the ideal spot in this car is to take, you know, again, move this, recline the rear seat. It's absolutely exquisite back here, insanely comfortable, rides like a dream. You've got control of all of the climate controls, the audio controls, everything. It's a dedicated rear air conditioner, has a purifier, all that jazz. The fabric is in wonderful shape. Everything is just absolutely fantastic. Coming around the front, dashboard's perfect, not a mark to speak of anywhere. Front seat, perfect, not a mark to speak of anywhere. Obviously a full power seat. It does not tilt up, it doesn't rock like that, just forward, back, and recline. It does have an adjustable headrest though, which makes a pretty big difference. Moving on to the driver's side, one of the really big things about this car is it has cruise control. So many luxury cars from Japan did not. And I'm the type of person, here we'll shut off the climate, I'm the type of person that uses it constantly. It's only good to 108 kilometers per hour, which was Japanese DOT requirements in the year this was made. Luckily, it doesn't chime over 108 kilometers per hour like the 89 Camry diesel in my garage right now. Video link in the description if you're curious about that car. And by the way, if you have no intentions to buy this car, but you've been entertained, please like the video. That lets us know, and we're grateful for it, that you like it. And of course, it directs other people on the internet to the video. So maybe you can help somebody find, or help this car find a good home with somebody just by liking the video. And definitely subscribe. I bought like 3 or 4 of these Crowns. This is the first one to hit the United States. Last night, bought a gorgeous Nissan Cedric. It looks like a Bentley. Absolutely beautiful car. And some other quirky little cars coming in. We're going to be trying to do like 2-3 of these cars a month. So definitely subscribe to the channel. They'll all be walked through on this channel. So it's got the audio system. Again, I'm going to mess with this and try to get it working, but almost always the screen here needs new capacitors, which is doable. You can DIY it, or you can pay to have it done. There's a guy, he's maybe $1,000 to do it with shipping, which is most of it out of New Zealand. He's called the Soarer Surgeon. That's S-O-A-R-E-R, which was the JDM name for the Lexus SC Sport Coupe, or Samuel Charlie. It's mostly shipping, but he rebuilds these, and he also rebuilds the engine computer and all that jazz in case you ever needed it. So you can almost not tell this car's running. If you had the climate control on, or you get the radio working and it's on low, I mean, you cannot tell this car's running. Don't bump the starter, because you might. It is... The 2J is just one of the best engines ever made. In my opinion, the best straight 6 ever made. Sorry to offend you BMW loyalists, but to me, this is the best engine, best 6-cylinder ever made. I like it even better than the V6 1MZ. So as you would expect for a 24,000 mile car, it's just absolutely seamless. The power, just the torque in this, the silent torque in this is incredible. The transmission, it's not lazy like the 4-speed that we got here in, like, 1997. So like a front wheel drive Avalon. It's not that lazy, boring transmission that we all know and love. It's fantastic. It is a 4-speed automatic with overdrive. I'm gonna get you guys up to some speed here when we get to somewhere safe. I am not a big guy. I'm 5'7", maybe 150 pounds, and this car fits me like a glove. I mean, I guess that's the size of your standard Japanese guy. I did sell one of these to a guy that was 6'2", and he felt the same way, just that it fits like a glove. It is an absurdly comfortable car. It rides like a dream, but with the, with the wishbone suspension, it handles fantastically as well. I don't know why we didn't get this car in the United States, because it's exquisite. I mean, it's up there close to a Lexus LS 400. It's a little bit more nimble. I like the cloth seats. Here, we'll get on it a little bit. So we're already going, I don't want to go too fast. So there's 120 kilometers. Probably won't ever drive it faster than that. Perfectly smooth. It's kind of a crappy road, but hit the brakes. No pulsations or anything like that. Drives extremely smooth. And again, to get back into the zone of like retro review, just everywhere your body will touch, your elbow on that, and keep in mind it was the 90s. The seat fits like an absolute glove. The door cards are very comfortable against every part of your body that touches them. The windshield is a little bit more, it's more close to your face and more upright like a Lexus LS than the super cab forward design where it's more like slanted and like say like a Camry or something like that. Just everything about this car to me screams it is the absolute perfect daily driver. You might not want to daily drive one with 24,000 miles on it. Like my wife's, it has like 38,000 miles on it. It's a 92. That's a special occasion car. She takes that when she's by herself or just with like one of the kids, and she's not going anywhere congested or anywhere where she feels like she's in a hurry. We take it to weddings, funerals, things like that. We go see the autumn leaves in it. In my opinion, it's your car. You know, if you buy this car, it's yours. You do what you want with it. But in my opinion, this is a special occasions car. I've got one like this coming in that has 102,000 kilometers on it. Maybe that's more appropriate for a daily. Whatever. Point is, the car is literally like new. It's so quiet. It's so smooth, and yet it handles so well. It's, you know, I mean, for the price tag too. I mean, I think this car far outvalues a brand new Camry or a brand new Crown. It's less than a third of the price, and it's just a better car. So anyways, I'm Drew. I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, go ahead and give it that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. There's going to be tons of these cars coming. We're importing like crazy, buying one of these cars, I think, since the beginning of the year. Today is February 3rd. Since the beginning of the year, I've bought like 5, and that'll pick up once, you know, the weather gets nice and all that. So definitely subscribe if you're interested, and if you want to buy the car, you can do so online. You know, or obviously give me a call, but you could do so from afar and we could ship it, or we'd love to meet you in person. Just go ahead and reach out. You do so through the comments, or you should be able to track me down through you know, through the channel, but email's probably the most appropriate. It's Andrew, ANDREW, .Carapella, CARAP like Peter, ELLA @gmail.com, where I'll try to stay on top of the comments. As of the moment, the car's for sale. The for sale will be taken out of the title once it sells, and the video will stay up. So anyways, again, I'm Drew. I hope you love this car. Take care. God bless. Goodbye.